Hi, this is Mandy from Sunflowers and Doors. Welcome back to my channel. So today is day 14 of 31 tags in 31 days, and we are going to create a giant tag with some pockets. Now there's lots of different ways of doing a giant tag. Loads of different ways, and you can probably Google it and get lots of different versions. I'm going to try and kind of stick to a relatively simple version, which is what I've been trying to do with most of the tags, just to give a base for people to work with, and then you can build on it and, you know, jazz it up and do whatever to suit your style. So today I'm starting with a piece of the kit, which is the new Daisy kit, and I have a piece of cream card. I think the card's about 300 GSM. So I am going to start with that, and what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to glue I'm going to glue this whole sheet onto my card. Just trying to get it close enough to the edge so that it sticks, but not too close so that it's not so close that it what's the word? Seeps all over the place. Okay, so I'm going to pop this on my card, and I'm going to just put it to the corner. I'm going to cut it down to size, but I just want to get that right first. Okay. And I'm just going to take these edges off for a start. So get the big chopper out. I love this big chopper. I can honestly say it was probably the best buy ever. It was a bit of a substantial spend, but it was the best buy ever. So we're left with just under A4 size, which is cool because we don't want it to be quite A5 when we start folding. So I'm just going to let that dry a little bit. Let's have a look and see what size it is and see whether we can get an even. No, I'm not going to work that out, am I? So that would be 5.5 and 1, possibly 5.5 and 1. I think that is probably around centre, but if it's not, I'll just cut it slightly. So I've just scored a line in that, and I'm gonna gently fold that in half. Oh, that's not that. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to cut some of that off, but that's okay. So I've gently folded that in half, and I'm gonna just quickly cut this here. Like that. Okay, and this is going to be the basis of our tag. We don't need to do anything with the inside because we're all sorted with that. So what I'm now going to do is I am going to cut a piece off that we can use as, so it shapes it like a tag. I hate doing these like this because I never get them right, but we'll give it a go. So all I'm doing is using the same piece that I cut off over here, and I'm attaching it there, using that as a basis to make sure I get the same cut. So that's kind of like the basis for our tag. So the next thing I'm going to do, my gosh, I'm saying so many times, you'll have to excuse me. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a divot here, I think. Oh. That was a bit of a challenge because it is quite thick and I'm going through 2 layers. Now you can ink around if you want to. I'm not going to with this one just because I don't think it needs it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to glue this. I'm going to glue across the bottom. I'm going to glue across these top edges down to here. Okay. So that is kind of like the basis for our tag with a pocket. I'm going to let this dry because I don't want to start pulling that apart. So I'll show you the pocket element shortly. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to use these postcards, I think, and pop them on the front and the back to give me a little pocket. Now I probably could have cut that a little bit higher, but we'll make that work. So again, I'm just gonna pop a little bit of glue on here. This one I don't mind if it spills over slightly. I just want to make sure that I'm getting all of this on a piece of card because I've just printed the kit on paper and I didn't want to waste it. So there's one there, and I'm going to do exactly the same with this one, although it's got marks all over that. Let's see if I've got another one. That wasn't great planning, but hey ho. Have I got another one? $1 million question. I should have, because I've printed this kit out like 1 trillion times. And I'm just trying to use it all up now. So, postcards, postcards, postcards. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Or lots of other things. I could even just put a pocket on the front of it, in fairness, but I kind of wanted to go down the route of postcards. Failing that, I can use those. I will try to remember to skip over this so you won't have to see me trailing through lots of paper. Gosh, that's crazy, crazy. I definitely need to remember to do that. If I don't, then you can feel free to scold me in the comments section. Come on. Well, that's a shocker because I don't seem to have another one. Okay. I'm going to glue this on a second because I'm not sure whether it'll still show the mark because these are quite a lot bigger than I wanted to use. So we'll cut it and see what it looks like. It's ink underneath, that's all, so it's not like it's anything dodgy. Okay. Okay, so just going to pop those two on there. Well, it does show through, but I can actually put a little bit of something on that. Yeah, we'll do that. So let's just cut them down. And that's at least a good thing with these cutters, is that you can at least get half a chance of getting something straight. My cutting skills are dire, absolutely dire. But hey ho. Okay, so we've got 2 of these. I'm going to use these for pockets. So one on the front like this, and one on the back. Just going to take that down a tiny bit more because you can see some of the white on it. Okay, so that will be going on like that, and we'll do exactly the same to the one on the back. So I'm just going to glue down the 2 sides and then across the bottom, which will give us a top opening. I think I might, no, I'm not going to cut a divot in it, because if I cut a divot in it, then I will miss part of the top bit that I want to keep. So I just pop that on there like that. I'm going to do the same on the back. Like that. Okay, then that is the main part of the tag. I am gonna cut one of those little thingamybobs. I don't know what this is called, but it's perfect for cutting holes in tags like that. So we'll use that. I think I am going to grab another sheet of card. And what I want to do is I want to create a tag to go inside of this. So I need to make sure that it's not too big. So I think that'll be enough size for that one. And again, I'm not actually measuring as such, I'm just kind of making sure that it's going to fit in. I'm going to cut the edges of these, I think, just because they go in a lot more comfortably. Okay, so this will be our tag that will go inside. I am going to, I don't want to use it, I don't want to leave it completely blank. But I don't want it to be too patterned either. So I'm going to leave the back of this for writing on. So we've got a journaling spot. On the front, I'm going to just go really quite plain. So again, you can either journal on it. Has that gone over there? Yeah, that's fine. So you can either journal on it, or you can just use it as it is. Okay, so again, we're going to let that dry. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out 2 pieces from these. These are just like journal cards. So I'm going to cut one of them out. Excuse me. So, excuse me, and I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to just cut it in half. Okay, then what I'm going to do is grab another piece of this card, and I'm going to glue these two onto the card as well. Lots of gluing of, if you print this kit onto, or any kit, onto card, then you're saving yourself all of this extra work. But at the time, my printer wasn't playing nicely, so I couldn't really do that. So we're kind of popping back and forth to different parts of this, and I'm sorry if it's getting a little bit confusing. It's just waiting for the gluing to dry. I don't want to start working on stuff too early. Okay, so we've got that one there. Let's go back to our internal tag while we're waiting for that to dry. And I'm gonna just cut off the excess. Like so. And then I'm gonna just cut my holes back in here. I bought this recently because my old one was playing up. I'm not sure yet, but I'm not overly fussed on it. Not really sure why. I just don't seem to get on particularly well with it. But I think that could just be trial and error at this point. Okay, so as I said, really plain on the front, just with a little bit of script, and then on the back we're going to use that as a journaling spot. The next thing I'm going to do then is just add one of these whale tail tabs. I had these from Deb, and she's embossed them, so they look really, really cool. So I'm gonna pop that. Let's just glue this side a minute. I'm measuring it, kind of like just holding it up against where it's likely to go. And I'm gonna pop that on there like that, so I can get the sizing right, and then I can just pop the rest of that on. It's quite thick, and I think that's because it's been embossed. Must have been quite a thick card, but okay, so that's like that. I'm also going to get I think I'm going to add one of these to this, just to jazz it up a little bit. So these are dies from Susan at Libra Arts, by Susan. I know she's closing her shop for a couple of days or a couple of weeks to catch up and stuff, but her makes are absolutely amazing. So I'm just going to pop that there. Before it all sticks and gets gunky. Okay, So that will be our internal tag. If you want to stamp it up, you can, but that will be our internal tag. So I'm going to pop that out the way while we finish off what we're doing. Now, we've kept these two. So again, I'm going to use my big cutter just to make sure that they're straight. And this will all make sense in a moment. I've only ever made these tags for ring-bound journals, so it's quite new to make them for standalone journals, but I think the principle is still exactly the same, isn't it? Okay. So the next thing I've got is some, it's like a faux vintage paper. I got this from Amazon. It is on my Amazon list if anybody would like that, to see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little line here, and then I am going to draw a little line there. And what I'm basically doing is I'm going to be cutting down the paper so that it fits inside of that. And I'm going to take it a little bit shorter because I just wanted to know at a max what I needed. And I think I'll do the same with this one. I'm going to take it a little bit shorter than it needs to be, like that. So we've got two pieces of paper, and as I said, they should fit the width within that card. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the card as a bit of a basis. First of all, I'm going to get the paper and I'm going to fold it, first of all, one fold, so that that is the same size or just smaller than my card. And then I'm going to do like an accordion fold. So back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like that. Okay. I'm gonna cut the edges if I can. Okay, that's not going to work. Let's see if my Old Faithful will work. There we go. Okay, so what we have is this accordion style. And we've just top and tailed those ends. I'm going to do exactly the same with this one here. So I'm going to fold it to make sure that it fits inside of that piece of card, like that. And then we're just going to do the accordion fold back and forth, as much as it will allow you. And again, I'm going to cut these pieces here. So we've got exactly the same. Okay, then I'm going to take my two pieces of card and I'm going to cut the edges, or round the edges rather. Just like that. Okay, and I'm going to take these pieces here and I'm going to glue. This is the shorter, so this bit here doesn't actually go all the way to the end, if you know what I mean. It's one of the smaller ones. And I'm literally going to glue that on here like that. And it should fit so that you don't have anything showing on the front. I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. I'm going to get that shorter end. And we're just going to pop that onto our card. And again, you shouldn't see anything over the other side. So we've got our large journal tag. We've got an internal tag. We've got two little pop-up books. Okay, what we're going to do before we put it all together is I'm just going to grab some ribbon. And I think, because it's such a big tag, I think I'm going to go for some of this ribbon here. And we're going to pop that in there, hopefully, like that. And then let's see if it will create a bow. You may have cut it too small for a bow and too long for just a tie. I don't know why I tried to do bows, mind, because I can't create a bow for toffee. Okay, it's not too bad. I've done worse. Okay, so we've got our tag, giant tag. We have just a tiny bit of that starting to come up, so I'm just going to go around that. We've got our tag that will go inside. It should go inside. Please let it go inside. All it does just needs a little bit of manoeuvring the first time. Oh no. Yeah, there we go. So we've got our inside tag, just with our clippy there. And then these are just additional journaling spots, pop-out journaling spots. Now, you could have attached those to your actual card, like that, and just had them pop out like this. But the problem you then have is you have to have something to keep them closed. Whereas if you pop them in here, do that one. If you pop them in here, your pocket will keep them closed. And you have, just pull them out and you've got that extended journaling spot. So a huge giant tag. I think these are looking a bit bare, so let's see what else we can do with that. It's bound to be something. I do have somewhere some faux washi tape that I created. There's a video of that on my channel if you are interested, using alcohol inks, and it looks really cool. I don't think I even need to cut those down. Nope, I'm not going to ink it either because I haven't done that inking, so I will cut them down. Make my mind up one of these days. Let's have a look and see. I've got some of this out from an earlier project. Let's see what that will look like with a tag on. I think that might be just a tad too much. So let's get some Fabri-Tac. Gosh. Just going to pop that like that. And then that will go on there like that. And that, in fairness, should just stick on. But I'm going to just put a little bit extra on, just to make sure. So, I tell you what I have got as well. I've also got some green stamps, which I quite like the idea of, just to add a little bit of extra. Wouldn't have thought of those other than I had them out because I wanted to put some embossing stuff on them. So one there, and one there. And we can also no. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just to finish, we've got our Mandy tag with an inside tag, which I might cut down a little bit if it doesn't give anymore, which will give us your journaling spot, and that gives us the lovely picture for that one. And then we've also got our two pop-out extra journal spots in our pockets. So really, really cool tag to add to your journals. It is quite big. You can make it as big or as small as you want. But yeah, I do like this one. Like I said, I've only ever used it before for ring-bound journals, but I do quite like the idea of it. I mean, you could even, if you really wanted to, use this as a writing card. So take that out, and if you're writing on a page in your journal, pop that underneath, and it just gives you a little bit of added extra. And I think I might stitch around that quickly while it's out. So there you go, a little bit of extra stitching just to kind of make that look a little bit less plain. And that is our Mandy tag with a tag journaling card and two pop-out journal spots. Hope you enjoyed it. I will leave it there. Catch you in the next video. Until then, as always, stay safe and be well. And I'll speak soon. Bye for now.